Not long ago, I met a man named Walter. He was 67, recently retired, just about a year into his new chapter. When I asked him how it was going, he gave a small, tired smile and said, "I thought retirement would feel like a long vacation, but honestly, it feels like I walked into a forest without a map." Walter had worked in construction for over 40 years. He was good at what he did, had some savings, and no debts to his name. But when the first few weeks of retirement passed, he started to feel lost. He'd wake up with no idea what to do with his day. He started spending more money than usual, mostly out of boredom. And his health, well, he figured rest would be enough, so he let the workouts and checkups slide. Walter's story isn't rare. In fact, millions of people step into retirement each year believing they're ready, only to realize freedom doesn't always come with peace of mind. And that's why today we need to talk about the serious mistakes that many people make before retirement, the kind that sneak up on you quietly and only show their true cost years later. You might be thinking, "I've worked hard all my life, I deserve to relax." And you're absolutely right. But if the way you're preparing today is setting you up for loneliness, financial stress, or poor health tomorrow, there's still time to make a change. We're not aiming for perfection, we're aiming for awareness. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 serious mistakes many people make before retirement and how to avoid them. These aren't just ideas or theories. They come from real people and real experiences. If you learn to spot them now, you'll set yourself up for a future that's not just restful, but meaningful and secure. Before we dive in, if this content feels helpful to you, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who's approaching retirement, and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss more important insights tailored just for you. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else watching right now. Now let's begin with the first mistake. It's not having a clear picture of what your life will actually look like after retirement. And I don't mean your finances or a travel bucket list. I mean a realistic, day-to-day vision of how your life will unfold when you're no longer working. Most of us have spent decades with structure. Waking up at a set time, working, meeting deadlines, contributing to something. Life had rhythm, purpose, and a sense of movement. But retirement? It can feel like pressing pause and never hitting play again. You wake up on a Monday morning and no one needs you to be anywhere. At first, that feels like freedom. But soon, that freedom can start to feel like an empty room. What will you do all day? Who will you talk to? What will give you joy or a sense of accomplishment? These are questions that many people forget to answer. I once asked a friend, if you could write out your weekly retirement schedule, what would your Monday look like? He stared at me and said, "I've never thought about that." Having a clear picture doesn't mean you need to plan every hour, but maybe you imagine learning an instrument, joining a light yoga class, volunteering at your local library, growing vegetables in your backyard, or writing that memoir you've been thinking about for years. Whatever it is, it gives your days purpose. It keeps boredom and restlessness at bay. Now let's talk about the second mistake: underestimating your future costs and overestimating how much money you have. A lot of people assume that once they retire, their expenses will drop. No commuting, no work clothes, no packed lunches. I'll spend less, they think. But here's what actually happens. Those early retirement years are often the most expensive. Now you have time. Time to travel, fix up the house, spoil the grandkids a little, or finally buy that thing you've always wanted. Add to that rising healthcare costs, surprise car or home repairs, maybe even helping out your adult children. And suddenly, your savings don't stretch as far as you expected. I knew a couple who retired early. They had a solid nest egg and no major debts. For the first 2 years, they traveled across the country in an RV, ate at nice restaurants, and enjoyed every bit of their freedom. But then, the husband developed a heart condition. Insurance covered some, but not all. Medical costs ballooned. Eventually, they had to sell their dream home and move into a smaller apartment. What once felt like financial freedom became a stressful scramble. That's why you need to look at your numbers through a realistic lens. Don't assume your spending will cut in half. In fact, plan for your spending to stay the same or even rise for the first 5 to 10 years. Consider inflation, especially for healthcare and daily living expenses. And if you're not sure whether your plan is solid, talk to a financial advisor. They can help you spot gaps or risks in your strategy and guide you through decisions you might not even know you have to make. Now let's move on to the third mistake, assuming your health will take care of itself once you stop working. A lot of folks think, "I've worked hard. I've earned the right to just relax." And yes, you absolutely deserve rest, but rest doesn't mean inactivity. After 60, if you're not actively taking care of your body and mind, things can start to decline faster than you expect. You may feel fine today. You're walking around, running errands, enjoying time with family. But what about your balance, your strength, your memory, your flexibility? These things slowly decline unless you make a conscious effort to protect them. Think of your body like a classic car. Even the best model, if left sitting too long, will start to rust and break down. Your body is no different. Now, don't worry, you don't need to hit the gym 5 times a week. Just 20 to 30 minutes of walking a day, some gentle stretching, deep breathing, better food choices, good sleep. These small things make a massive difference in your independence, your confidence, and your ability to enjoy the years ahead. And don't forget about mental health. Staying curious, learning something new, talking with others, laughing with your grandkids. These things keep your mind just as sharp as your body. So we've talked about the dangers of drifting through retirement without a plan, the financial surprises that can sneak up on you, and the risk of letting your health quietly slip away once you stop working. These are big, life-shaping mistakes, but we're not done yet, because there's another one that might surprise you. It doesn't show up on spreadsheets or doctor's notes, but it can affect your quality of life more than anything else. It's the mistake of not preparing emotionally for retirement. You see, most people focus so much on the money and the logistics, when to take Social Security, how to downsize, what to do with their 401k, that they forget about the part that's a little harder to plan: how retirement feels. Think about it. For decades, your identity may have been wrapped up in what you did. You were a teacher, a nurse, a business owner, a manager. You were someone people needed, someone who contributed, someone who made things happen. Then suddenly one day you retire and it's all quiet. No emails, no calls, no meetings, just stillness. At first that might feel like relief, but for many people, after a few weeks or months, it starts to feel like something's missing. Not just structure, but purpose, connection, value. I've met retirees who told me, I don't feel useful anymore, or I miss being part of something. And that's totally normal. When a big piece of your identity is tied to your job, letting it go can feel like losing a part of yourself. But here's the good news. Purpose doesn't disappear just because you stop working. It simply shifts. And if you go into retirement expecting that shift and planning for it, you'll handle it with far more grace and confidence. Maybe you find purpose in mentoring younger people in your field. Maybe it's in helping your community or exploring your creative side, or just being present for your family in a deeper, more intentional way. Whatever it is, make space for it. Don't leave it to chance. Think ahead. Ask yourself, what will give me a sense of value every day? What will make me feel like I'm still growing? Because here's the thing, retirement isn't the end of your story. It's a new chapter. And every chapter needs a plot, a reason to turn the page. Now, let's talk about mistake number 5. This one is subtle, but it can have long-lasting consequences. Not talking openly with your spouse or partner about your retirement vision. You'd be surprised how many couples go into retirement with completely different expectations and don't realize it until they're already living it. One person wants to travel the world while the other just wants peace and quiet at home. One is ready to fill their calendar with activities while the other craves a slower, simpler pace. One dreams of moving closer to the grandkids while the other doesn't want to leave the familiar neighborhood. And without realizing it, both start to feel frustrated and maybe even resentful. The problem isn't the differences, it's the lack of conversation. The assumption that you're both on the same page when maybe you're not even in the same chapter. That's why having open, honest talks about retirement long before it happens is one of the most powerful things you can do as a couple. Sit down together and ask the big questions. What does an ideal day look like to you? Where do you want to live? How much alone time do you each need? What new things would you like to try together? What are you worried about? These conversations may feel awkward at first, but they open the door to understanding, alignment, and planning with love and respect. You don't have to agree on everything, but knowing where you stand and being willing to compromise can prevent so many conflicts down the road. And if you're single, these conversations still matter, just in a different way. Talk to your adult children, your close friends, even a trusted advisor. Build a support system and a vision that reflects your unique needs and desires. Retirement is personal. There's no one-size-fits-all plan. But no matter your circumstances, the key is to retire with intention, not by default. Because here's the truth. No matter how financially secure you are or how healthy you feel today, if you walk into retirement without clarity, communication, and purpose, you could end up feeling lost. And you deserve more than that. You deserve days filled with meaning, freedom without fear, and joy that doesn't fade when the novelty wears off. That's not a fantasy. That's what retirement should be. You've spent your life working, caring for others, doing your part. Now it's time to care for yourself, not just with money or rest, but with vision, action, and love. So, as you think about what we've talked about so far, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I building the kind of life I want to wake up to? Am I talking to the people who matter most? Am I being honest about the habits I need to keep or let go of? Because the answers to those questions could shape your next 20, 30, even 40 years. And you know what? You're not too late. It's never too late to plan better. It's never too late to shift your mindset. It's never too late to build something beautiful. By now, we've explored the biggest mistakes that can quietly undo your retirement dreams if you're not careful. We've talked about the importance of having a clear daily purpose, being realistic with your finances, taking care of your health, preparing emotionally for the big change, and communicating openly with those closest to you. These are more than just tips. They're the foundation for a retirement that's not just about surviving, but truly thriving. But there's one last thing I want to remind you of, because it's absolutely vital and often overlooked. Flexibility. Life rarely goes exactly as planned. Maybe you face unexpected health issues, a financial setback, or a loved one who needs extra care. Maybe you find a new passion that leads you down an unexpected path. Retirement is a journey filled with surprises, and the most successful retirees are the ones who embrace change rather than resist it. Being flexible means you don't get stuck when things don't go perfectly. It means adjusting your goals and expectations without losing sight of what really matters: your happiness, your peace of mind, and your connection to the people and things you love. Flexibility also means giving yourself permission to rest when you need it, but also to push forward when you're ready. It means listening to your body, your heart, and your mind, and making choices that honor all three. So how do you cultivate flexibility? Start by checking in with yourself regularly. Ask, how am I feeling about my retirement life right now? What's working? What isn't? And don't be afraid to seek help, whether it's from a friend, a counselor, or a financial advisor. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. It's also helpful to set goals, but keep them adaptable. For example, if you plan to volunteer 3 days a week, but find that you're too tired, maybe cut back to 1 or 2. If you wanted to travel but your budget changes, find local activities or day trips that bring you joy. Small adjustments can keep your life balanced and fulfilling. Now I want to leave you with this. Retirement isn't about the mistakes you might have made before it. It's about what you do next. You have the power to shape these years into the best chapter of your life. With awareness, preparation, and a willingness to adapt, you can avoid the pitfalls many fall into, and instead create a retirement full of meaning, health, and happiness. If this video has helped you see your retirement planning in a new light, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone you care about who's also thinking about retirement. It might be the conversation starter they need. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more videos designed to empower you through every stage of life. I'd also love to hear from you. What challenges or questions do you have about retirement? Have you faced any of these mistakes yourself? Drop a comment below and let's start a supportive conversation together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, it's never too late to take control of your future and live the retirement you deserve. Here's to living your best life every day, at any age. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.